Terrell Thomas, These Urban Times. I'm sitting down with a gentleman who I'm quite sure you've seen his face, you've seen his work, you've heard about work that he's done in the community and across our globe. But we're sitting down today on behalf of Old Spice, and we're going to talk about Old Spice and some things that you have going on with that. We'll also talk about some things that you have going on in the world of entertainment. Jesse Williams, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. It's a pleasure to sit and talk with you. Definitely have a lot of respect for the work that you've done both on the screen and actually on the ground and in the fields and the communities and things as far as your activism. So it's great to speak with you. But I want to talk to you about this new Old Spice campaign.
Yeah.
You and Old Spice have some things in the work, and you want to smell ready for anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
you got to.
I saw the clip a few days ago, and I also saw that today
Yeah.
you actually put it up on your social media page. So talk to me about how this relationship with Old Spice came about.
Yeah. It came about because honestly, look, we've all had a hell of a year this last year. It was rough. It can get us down and get us in a funk and get us having, doubting ourselves, our confidence. And I thought it was a cool opportunity to use you know the brand's established sense of both trying to boost, give you confidence boosters and also humor to have a real relatable method to address, especially to the fellas who aren't always so great at being vulnerable and being honest, that we are having self-doubt, that I don't really have full confidence in myself. I actually am a little bit in a funk right now. I'm wearing the same damn sweatpants for 3 days in a row, walking around the house, don't really have structure because of what's going on outside. So you know what? I also need a pep talk sometimes. I also need to gas myself up. I also sometimes need to remind myself that, get a routine together, get out there, get it cracking, have something to motivate you throughout the day. So I think some of that vulnerability was an opportunity for us to play around, and including parts of my own life, taking shots at myself a little bit, being self-deprecating. But really overall, the brand is working hard to help us manifest, something better for ourselves. And sometimes it's that lofty aim, it's finishing that script, project, invention, building that business, or it's really something small and structural. Like, I like to take a cold shower. I like to hit the gym first thing as I get out of bed. I like to make sure I got that smell good on, so I know that I feel confident. Something that gives me confidence. Those little things can help you actually, get the rest complete. So yeah, that was the impetus. It was that, and also an opportunity to there's so much serious stuff going on. My life is, as you know, so focused on our liberation, and it's very, very serious, high stakes material. So an opportunity to be light and be funny. I do so much kind of intense dramatic work. But I'm actually kind of a goofy, all I do is crack jokes all day. So it's nice to be able to show that side of myself and our writing together with something too.
How much of the script did you actually come up with? Because two things that really stood out to me in the beginning. Of course, you're an older gentleman, so I don't know if that's symbolizing that 2020 put a lot of years and a lot of stress
Yeah.
on everyone. And then towards the end, when you turn into the baseball mode, into your baseball wardrobe, and it sounds as if you hit a home run, and yet you say touchdown. Something that Old Spice always does as far as throwing a little trick out there. So
Yeah.
from that beginning. From the beginning scene when you're the older gentleman and to the end when you're hitting home runs yet saying touchdown, how much of the writing were you involved in, and was there any symbolism behind that?
There was. I had a lot. I did a lot of the writing. I did a lot of the core joke writing in the center of it. But both of those ideas are actually the team, the really incredible creative team at Old Spice. So we wanted to open up with kind of feeling down, run down, whatever that feels. And they had the cool ideas like, yo, we can use technology and actually make it look like how you feel. We can show the world, when you just feel haggard, you just feel like, I ain't washed my damn face in 2 days. Ain't nobody around. I got a bowl of cereal by the side of the bed. I'm like, we've all had days and weeks like that. So to start there, and then, I decided to take some shots at myself about taking your shirt off on TV, about the baseball thing is actually a tie to, I'm doing a Broadway play. That is about a baseball player, and I'm the lead in that play. And we were in rehearsals in New York when COVID hit, So yeah, this is like, I'm living out a dream. It's a game changer in my professional life, in my personal life. I got to go back home, be in New York, and like everybody else, what happened a year ago changed everything for all of us and kind of snatched some things away. So I was, pointing out my own point of self-doubt and insecurity, something that I needed to remind myself of. There is something for me in the future, even though I don't feel great right now. Being able to be your own hype man. We all might need a spliff star in our life. Like sometimes you got to be that for yourself. And so that's what that was. And the aspirational, for baseball, I might not get it right, but as long as it makes me feel good and I'm not hurting no one, then it's worthwhile.
Very well said. I also want to talk to you about some things that'll be taking place this year in 2021. You've accomplished a lot of great things, both, as I mentioned, to start the interview, on screen and off the screen. But you have some things going on with the Oscars. What's going
Yeah.
on with that?
Yo, so I produced this short film during the middle of this pandemic. Incredible writer, Trayvon Free, a brother, a very good friend of mine. He used to write for The Daily Show. He writes Black Monday. He writes Camping. He's a prolific, real deal Hollywood Emmy award-winning writer. Him and Martin Desmond Rowe collabed to direct this short film that I produced along with Van Lathan. Puff came on as a producer. Excuse me. And it's called Two Distant Strangers. It's dope. It's important. It's meaningful without giving it away. It tackles the cycle that we live in terms of police brutality as Black people, but in a really creative way to let y'all know, like to let the viewers really get a look into what the experience feels like when we're constantly changing ourselves to try to not be profiled or killed. Or what if I do this? What if I dress this way? What if I don't? There's always an excuse, right? There's always an excuse. Malcolm and Martin were in suits, but you talking about it's because the way we wear our pants, or we got tattoos, or I use the hood on my sweatshirt in the case of Trayvon, as if white boys don't use the hood on their sweatshirt. Like that feels like Groundhog Day sometimes. It feels like it's no matter what, it's the same result. So we wove together a really beautiful film. And out of all the submissions in the world for the highest profile awards ceremony in the world, the Academy Awards, we just got news yesterday that we are shortlisted. We've made the top 10 in the world. And in a few weeks, they will decide who the nominees are. The nominees go from 10 to 5. So we have our fingers crossed. We have the people behind us. People are really loving the material on its own, the craftsmanship, the work that went into it. We scrapped together resources and cash in the middle of the pandemic to just knock it out, and a lot of borrowing and stealing and favors to get this piece of art up to express our humanity and artfulness in a different way. So I'm really proud of the team. Filmmaking is a really collaborative effort, and we might be looking at a nomination for an Oscar. So yeah, we're excited. It's a good day today.
I'm a native of Philadelphia, and I know you have some ties. So I'm going to talk to you about that in a moment. But I live in Atlanta now. I live in Atlanta, and some things took place here in the banking world in 2020. And I know that you're a part of these things with Greenwood Banking. Of course, it's a banking system, a digital banking system made for people of color, made for Black people. Talk to me about why it was important for you to get behind that and your role and everything that you have going on with that.
Yeah, thank you, yo. So Greenwood Bank, financial tech company, we're looking to, look, we talk about our future and liberation work and being able to have agency in our life. And in the society that we live in, you can't divorce power from economic independence, right? Are you able to put food on your table and clothes on your back, and keep and house your family with or without, as an independent entity and as a community that loves itself enough to serve itself and provide services to itself, and being locked out of economic power from the advent of this country makes it really, really difficult, of course, right? Like we couldn't participate, then we couldn't participate. And we're still not participating. We're still not able to secure any of those safety nets or those boosts or those incentives or those supplemental structures to help us get not only get on our feet, but be able to sustain and maintain and be able to handle all the pitfalls of what it is to run a business. So to put it simply, we want to put our money where our mouth is. We want to create a space that supports Black entrepreneurship, that supports that you're not giving your money away to your oppressors. That we are making sure that we are giving out small business loans. We are training folks in small business understanding. We are letting our dollar circulate. Most importantly, letting that dollar circulate. As soon as you get your money, don't give it away. That it circulates in our community. We are giving. We round up and put our money towards college funds, NAAC college funds, under NAACP, excuse me. So yeah, the Black dollar has value. Everybody knows it but us, and we're doing something about it. We're doing something about it. You gotta treat yourself with respect if you expect to get it from anyone else. So we're stepping up. We have an incredible team with Ambassador Andrew Young and Ryan Glover, and of course Killer Mike Render, and a really great team. And yeah, the HQ has been Atlanta, which has been a real shining example of Black autonomy and agency in terms of economic power and its relationship to the city in relationship to actual working people. So we're here to serve our people spiritually, with entertainment, but nothing moves without being able to have the Black dollar close by.
Very well said. As they say, nothing moves but the money. So that's very,
Yeah.
very well said. And as I did just mention prior, I grew up in Philadelphia. So one of the staples, of course, is Temple University, a
Right.
place that you spend a lot of your days. I want to ask you, it's kind of sports related, but also has some backing as far as Black excellence. If you could speak to me about John Chaney, of course, recently. He passed away. Such a great man. I don't think a lot of people, younger people anyway, today know his importance in the sports world. Know his importance as a father figure, as such a great figure, not only in Philadelphia and for Temple University, but for African Americans across sports in general. Could you
Yeah.
talk to me about Coach Chaney and any experiences or anything you may remember from your time at Temple, if he was still coaching at that time?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be at Temple when Coach was coach. Cheney was our coach, and we had a dope team. We made it to, I think, we beat Mateen Cleaves and Michigan State. We played Lamar Odom at URI. We had Pepe Sanchez, Lynn Greer, Quincy Wadley. We had a squad, we packed those stadiums. We were on ESPN. Like, it was a huge part of our pride and our culture. And as you indicated, Coach Chaney was not only a powerhouse coach, well respected around the nation, and a great draw for players. He was a father figure. He was a mentor that was able to be loving, but stay on you and keep the reality of the pressure that we live under at the forefront. So he was in your face, but he's in your face out of love to prepare you for the real world and to help make up for lost time. So no matter what you got from him, you got his attention. And that's not something we can all say, especially for adult men in our lives. So he was well aware, and we're aware generally of the dynamic often of coaches playing that mentorship role, sometimes being a father figure. But Coach Chaney is, one of the originals. Him, John Thompson. He's Hall of Fame level individual, and we got to see that manifest itself through success. And speaking of pep talks, we're here because obviously the spot is about giving a pep talk, giving yourself what you need to lift yourself up, and nobody could get you hype, but hype in a way that still acknowledges that we have flaws, right? Not just gas you up blindly, but like, yeah, we have weaknesses and we're going to address them. Yeah, that's key. Anybody can just gas you up in a way that dissipates as soon as you walk away. But like, if we can be honest with ourselves and honest with what we're missing, then we actually know where to put our attention. And that's a big deal, I think, for folks who identify as male too. Like, for men to be vulnerable and to express, I have self-doubt. I'm not exactly confident right now. That is figures like him, are the spirit of, exactly what we're trying to, the word we're trying to get out and get people to feel. It's a similar feeling. We're trying to get people to feel like, yo, stand upright. You can figure this out.
Terrell Thomas, These Urban Times, sitting down with Mr. Jesse Williams. Jesse, before I let you go today, and of course, once again, big shout out to Old Spice and everything you're doing with Old Spice. What else do you have coming up in the year 2021? We're kind of soon. We'll be into the second quarter.
Yeah.
Spring isn't too far away. We're gonna be hoping and praying that you guys do make the short, go to the top five as far as the Oscars are concerned. But what else do you have in the works?
We have a couple things actually. Some of them I can talk about. Some of them I'm itching to, but I can't quite yet. But one of them actually I'm reminded of right now because I'm looking behind you and you got two Wheaties situations.
Yes, indeed.
You'll appreciate this. I produced a film called Withdrawn Arms this year that Stars just bought. It is about Tommy Smith, the 1968 gold medal athlete, right?
Okay, yes, sir.
The famous fist, the poster we all talk about, but the man was left for dead. We talk about Kaepernick. This is the original. Tommy Smith won the gold medal in 1968. This is after Malcolm got killed, Martin got killed, JFK, RFK. There's high political tension in the world. Black athletes had considered sitting out of the Olympics entirely because the way we were getting treated in our own country. And Tommy Smith decided to run, to win, and stepped on that podium and changed history forever, and decided to be so incredibly Black in public that they kicked him out of the country. They removed his sponsorships, tried to take his medal from him, and didn't let him work again. His best day, he sacrificed for all of us to take our real lives and put it on the highest level of it. And by the way, that 1968 Olympics was the first time it had been aired live, that ceremony. So he took an opportunity to do that and change history forever. And we examine his life. He's directly involved in the film. We follow him and explore his journey and what it is to make these great sacrifices that we love to put out there. But then what do we do with our heroes? If they're a hero for a day, how do we treat them afterwards? Would you recognize them in the street? Would you buy them a meal? Do we look out for our own when they look out for us? So there's a story of Tommy Smith, who actually, lives in Stone Mountain, Georgia. He's an incredible hero. And one of the things we did was our director got him what he should have gotten a long time ago, was his own Wheaties box. So we just got him his very own Wheaties box for y'all young bucks that don't know. Like, Wheaties was the pinnacle for all the greatest athletes. All the greatest athletes made the front of America's cereal. It's what you do. And he was looked over because it was too controversial what he did. Him putting on that black glove for us that day. So I'm gonna figure out a way to get you a box of your own. We'd love for you to have one.
Thank you.
And y'all can see the film on Stars. It's a documentary feature called Withdrawn Arms about Tommy Smith. So we have that project, which also had an Oscar campaign. I have a couple films that are soon to be announced, 3 or so that are soon to be announced. I've got a show that I just sold that's in development. So all these things I'm not allowed to name quite yet, but I'm working. We're out here working. Bleberty, our Black cultural heads up game. We have this game that's a great, like, fun for the whole family game night. You're waiting in a line. We have all these incredible topics and games that are all about Black culture. And you have it on your head and you try to get me to guess the answer and I pass. We have these huge parties all over the country. And it was the #1 game on the App Store twice. It's really dope. You can download it right now. Bleberty, like celebrity, but Black. That is exploding. We might be turning that into a game show.
Okay.
Possibly a film. But instead of ignoring Black culture and us always having to find ourselves in other people's material, we decided to make Black culture the core, the center of our expression and what pop culture is. I really think your audience would really enjoy the game, and we're about to announce two other games. So to balance, Terrell, what we've been talking about, some of the more intense work that we have to do to get through this world as Black folks, we also have to celebrate our joy and our ability to just kick back and just experience and celebrate our culture and keep it central and not wait for society to let us in or let us be Black or let us be kind of a little bit Black or use a little bit of our phrases and sell it back to us. Like, we actually, again, tied to Greenwood, like, we can be the money, we can be the center, we can make the product. We need to stop, only be willing to regard things as valuable if they come from a white space. We have everything we need inside of our community.
Jesse, man, it's been a pleasure to sit and chat with you today. Definitely learned a lot about what you have going on. That Wheaties thing is very dope because, as you mentioned, I remember growing up as a kid, and it was something when you saw athletes on, you knew that they made it.
Yeah.
And knowing Brother Tommy's story growing up and then being here in Georgia, that is overly well deserved for him. So much respect to you and your team for making sure that it does happen for him. Be looking forward to that story coming out. Looking forward to seeing what else you have in store with Old Spice. That'll be very dope as well, man. Thank you so much for your time today. Continue to do great things, and hopefully we get to chat again later on this year.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna get you that box. Make sure we have your contact info.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.